The NFL world was shaken recently by the possibility of a major player transfer that could see a seasoned quarterback joining the New Orleans Saints. This wouldn't just be a routine signing, it would be a reunion with a familiar face and a significant moment for a franchise that is navigating through a period of uncertainty. All of this follows the shocking announcement of a veteran quarterback's sudden retirement, a decision that caught fans and analysts off guard. Today we're diving deep into this story, exploring what it means for the Saints, the player involved, and how this move could reshape dynamics within the league. To understand the gravity of this, we need to take a step back. Since the dawn of the 21st century, few teams have managed to stay as relevant and consistent as the Philadelphia Eagles. While some franchises have stumbled through endless rebuilds and leadership changes, the Eagles have built a legacy of competitiveness, playoff appearances, and Super Bowl runs. On the other hand, there are teams still searching for that same level of stability and success, constantly shuffling rosters, coaching staffs, and even relocating cities in a desperate attempt to reclaim past glory. That contrast sets the tone for today's discussion. Over the weekend, news broke that a quarterback long thought to be a stable figure within his team was dealing with a serious shoulder injury. Initially, it seemed like a manageable issue, something he'd rehabbed through the offseason. But as details emerged, the reality was far more alarming. A labrum tear combined with degenerative changes in the rotator cuff spelled trouble. For a quarterback, these are career-altering injuries. He had already faced his share of battles, recovering from concussions and hand injuries in previous seasons. Yet this time, the road back seemed impassable. Not long after he officially announced his retirement, ending a career that spanned more than a decade in the NFL, this player wasn't a first overall pick or a generational talent hyped up by media narratives. He was selected in the second round of his draft, quietly working his way up, proving doubters wrong with every snap. His career stats tell a story of resilience and consistency. Over 41,000 passing yards, placing him in the top 22 all time. More than 3,700 completions, ranking him 20th, and 157 touchdown passes, another top 22 mark. His passer rating sat comfortably above 90, a testament to his efficiency and football IQ, yet for reasons often beyond his control, he never quite received the recognition he deserved. Some point to the dramatic way his time with his first team ended, others to the lackluster stint with his second franchise. But those who followed his journey closely know better. There was a season, an unforgettable 2016 campaign, where he was on a clear path to becoming the league MVP. His performances were electric, his leadership undeniable. Unfortunately, a severe ankle injury derailed that dream, altering the trajectory of his career forever. Following that injury, nothing was the same. He watched from the sidelines as another quarterback stepped in during a crucial playoff run. Although he returned to lead his team to 3 consecutive winning seasons, the playoff victories remained elusive. It's important to understand the context here. He joined a franchise embroiled in turmoil, one that prioritized off-field agendas, like relocating cities over building a competitive football team. Stability was a foreign concept during his tenure, with constant coaching changes and front office shakeups. These factors inevitably stunted his growth. His move to the New Orleans Saints was seen as a fresh start, a chance to rejuvenate his career alongside a familiar coach he had worked with before. However, expectations quickly gave way to harsh realities. The partnership didn't yield the anticipated results, and once again, the quarterback found himself at a crossroads. Now, with his retirement, the door opens for speculation. Could we see him follow the path of other former players who took a break, ventured into media, and later orchestrated a surprising NFL comeback? It's a question worth pondering. Meanwhile, the Saints are staring down the barrel of a quarterback conundrum. With the 2025 season approaching, they find themselves with a trio of signal callers vying for the starting role. One of them, a rookie selected in the second round, shows promise but lacks experience. Another is perceived as a third-string option at best, unlikely to blossom into a true starter. The third contender, once a high school prodigy, struggled during his collegiate career, ultimately transferring schools to reignite his development. While not possessing prototypical quarterback size, his strong arm and refined technique make him a dark horse in this competition. Given this uncertainty, the idea of acquiring a more seasoned quarterback through a trade gains traction. Enter Tanner McKee, a player who has quietly built a reputation as one of the most capable backup quarterbacks in the league. McKee possesses the physical attributes, football intelligence, and poise necessary to transition into a starting role. The Saints offensive coordinator, who has a history of developing quarterbacks, might see in McKee the perfect candidate to stabilize the position. But here's the catch. Any potential deal would come at a price. A second or third round draft. Pick seems like the going rate for a player of McKee's caliber. It's a calculated risk, but one that makes sense for a team potentially on the verge of a comprehensive rebuild. Even with a recent second-round investment in another quarterback, it would be short-sighted to ignore the opportunity to bring in a player like McKee, especially in such a pivotal position. McKee's body of work, though limited in regular season games, speaks volumes. His preseason performances highlighted his strengths: impressive size, excellent field vision, and a knack for making precise throws under pressure. In key moments, he showcased an uncanny ability to read defenses, anticipate openings, and deliver with pinpoint accuracy. These are not qualities that can be taught overnight. They come from a blend of natural talent and diligent preparation. Last season, McKee had a chance to step in during a crucial divisional matchup. Despite the limited snaps, he completed 3 out of 4 passes, 2 of which resulted in touchdowns. A passer rating of perfection, literally. When given his first start, albeit in a game where his team had already secured a playoff berth and rested their starters, he seized the moment, completing 27 out of 41 attempts, throwing for 269 yards and 2 touchdowns without any interceptions. McKee displayed the poise and command of a veteran starter. Performances like these are rare and deserve attention. Given these credentials, it's logical to question why his current team will consider trading him. The answer lies in the depth chart, with emerging talents like Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Kyle McCord also in the mix. The franchise faces a logjam at the quarterback position. Dorian, despite a rocky start to his professional career, showed flashes of brilliance in college and still carries significant developmental upside. McCord, heralded as one of the top prospects from his draft class, has the tools to evolve into a franchise quarterback. With such potential waiting in the wings, holding on to McKee without a clear path to starting might not be the most strategic move. From the team's perspective, flipping McKee for valuable draft capital makes sense. Why let a player walk in? Free agency for nothing when you can extract a second or third round pick in return. It's a pragmatic approach, balancing immediate roster needs with long-term planning. But for the Saints, this could be the perfect storm, acquiring a quarterback with starting potential at a reasonable cost, filling a crucial gap as they navigate through a transitional phase. While the spotlight shines on this potential trade, the Philadelphia Eagles are gearing up for their own high-stakes moment. The 2025 NFL season opener will feature the Eagles facing off against their longtime rivals, the Dallas Cowboys, at Lincoln Financial Field. Scheduled for September 4th, this Thursday night clash promises fireworks. This isn't just any game. It's the latest chapter in one of the most storied rivalries in professional football. Since the year 2000, the Eagles have been a model of consistency and success. 17 playoff appearances, 8 NFC championship games, 4 Super Bowl appearances, and 2 Lombardi trophies. Their rivals, the Cowboys, despite their historic legacy, have struggled to keep pace. With only 10 playoff appearances and 0 NFC championship game bursts in the same span, Dallas fans have had to cling to the past, often citing their 5 Super Bowl rings as a rebuttal in debates. But in the world of sports, as in business and life, it's all about what you've done lately. And lately, the Cowboys' resume pales in comparison to Philadelphia's. The last time these two teams opened a season against each other was back in 2000. A game fondly remembered by Eagles fans as the pickle juice game. Since then, the trajectories of both franchises have diverged dramatically. The Eagles have become a powerhouse, known for smart management, solid coaching, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. Meanwhile, the Cowboys have been mired in dysfunction, plagued by inconsistent leadership and unmet expectations. Yet every year, the narrative remains the same. "This is our year," proclaimed Cowboys fans, only for reality to bring them crashing back down. Philadelphia's rise is not by accident. Their ability to adapt to modern NFL dynamics, embrace analytics, and prioritize depth and versatility across their roster has allowed them to remain competitive even when facing adversity. Whether it was navigating coaching changes, transitioning to new quarterbacks, or overhauling their defense, the Eagles consistently found ways to stay in the conversation as legitimate contenders. This adaptability, combined with a clear organizational vision, has set them apart from teams still clinging to outdated philosophies. Dallas, despite their global brand and massive fan base, continues to be a paradox. Year after year, their roster is filled with talent, pro bowlers, all-pro selections, high-profile draft picks. Yet, when it matters most, something always seems to go wrong. Whether it's questionable coaching decisions, lack of discipline on the field, or simply failing to execute in clutch moments, the Cowboys have become known for falling short of expectations. The difference between potential and production has never been more glaring. This contrast between the two teams is why the Eagles-Cowboys rivalry remains so compelling. It's not just about geographical proximity or historical matchups. It's a clash of organizational identities. Philadelphia embodies the next man up mentality, the gritty underdog spirit that resonates with their city's blue-collar ethos. Dallas, in contrast, often finds itself trapped by the weight of its own legacy, trying to live up to past glories rather than forging a new path forward. Looking ahead to the 2025 season, both teams find themselves at critical junctures. The Eagles, despite their recent successes, know that maintaining elite status in the NFL is a constant battle. The roster needs to stay young, dynamic, and prepared for inevitable challenges, injuries, free agency losses, and the emergence of hungry division rivals all pose threats. But if there's one thing Philadelphia has shown, it's that they're built to weather those storms. For Dallas, the pressure is immense. The clock is ticking on their current core. With stars approaching their prime years and contracts coming up for renegotiation, the window to make a serious Super Bowl run is narrowing. There's an urgency that hasn't been there before, a sense that another year of disappointment could trigger sweeping changes within the organization. Ownership, coaching staff, even front office personnel could face tough questions if 12th Stadium 25 follows the familiar script of high expectations and early playoff exits. Beyond these two franchises, the NFC landscape is evolving. New challengers are emerging, young quarterbacks are rising to prominence, and the margin for error is shrinking. For the Eagles, staying ahead means continuing to innovate, finding value in unexpected places, and ensuring that their locker room culture remains as strong as ever. For the Cowboys, it's about translating talent into tangible success, proving that they can rise to the occasion when the lights are brightest. The opening game of the season will be more than just a win or loss in the standings. It will set the tone. A statement victory for Philadelphia would reaffirm their status as the team to beat, while a Dallas upset could inject much-needed belief into a franchise desperate to change the narrative. The psychological impact of this matchup cannot be overstated. Rivalry games always carry extra weight, but when they kick off an entire NFL season, the stakes are amplified. Meanwhile, the New Orleans Saints are quietly navigating their own pivotal offseason. With the sudden retirement of their veteran quarterback, the franchise finds itself at a crossroads. The quarterback position, arguably the most critical in all of sports, is once again a question mark. The internal competition between the young, guns offers promise, but there's also an undeniable sense of urgency. The Saints can't afford to misfire on this decision. A wrong choice could set the franchise back years. This is why the potential trade for Tanner McKee remains a hot topic. His skill set, pocket awareness, precise timing, and an ability to operate under pressure aligns well with what the Saints need right now. More importantly, his experience, though limited, has shown he's capable of stepping in and managing an NFL offense effectively. the decision boils down to whether the Saints front office believes in their current developmental prospects, or if they see McKee as a safer bet to stabilize the position. One of the most intriguing aspects of McKee's game is his composure. He's not flashy. He won't dazzle you with jaw-dropping athleticism or highlight reel scrambles. But what he does offer is a steady hand, a reliable presence in the pocket, and the mental sharpness to make the right reads. In a league where flashy playmakers often steal the headlines, there's immense value in a quarterback who simply knows how to run an offense efficiently. If the Saints do pull the trigger on a trade, it could signal a broader shift in their organizational philosophy, perhaps moving away from high-risk, high-reward gambles and toward a more methodical, process-driven approach. It would also reflect an acknowledgement of the competitive landscape in the NFC South, where teams are retooling and the opportunity to ascend the standings is there for the taking, but only with the right leadership or quarterback. Of course, all of this speculation hinges on the willingness of McKee's current team to part ways. For them, it's a matter of balancing the value he brings as a backup against the potential return in draft capital. With emerging talents already on the roster, the argument for maximizing McKee's trade value becomes stronger. Every NFL team knows how precious draft picks are, especially in the second and third rounds where impactful starters can be found. The chess match between teams in need of quarterbacks and those with surplus depth is always fascinating. Timing is crucial. Wait too long and the market shifts. Act too soon and you risk misjudging a player's true potential. For the Saints, the clock is ticking louder than ever. As fans, we often get caught up in the excitement of big names and blockbuster trades. But sometimes the most impactful moves are the ones that fly under the radar. Acquiring a quarterback like Tanner McKee might not dominate headlines, but it could be the difference between another season of mediocrity and a legitimate playoff push. All of these storylines, from the Eagles and Cowboys' eternal struggle for NFC East supremacy to the Saints' quest for quarterback stability, are what make the NFL so captivating. Every season brings new challenges, new rivalries, and new heroes. And as we stand on the cusp of another thrilling year, the anticipation is palpable. For Philadelphia, the goal is clear: sustain their dominance, silence the doubters, and keep adding to their legacy. For Dallas, it's about finally turning potential into results, proving that the "this is our year" mantra isn't just empty words. For New Orleans, it's a battle for identity, a search for the right leader to guide them into a new era. The beauty of the NFL lies in its unpredictability. No matter how much we analyze, project, and debate, the game always finds a way to surprise us. That's why these early off-season moves and potential trades matter. They're not just transactions. They're the seeds of future triumphs or failures. With the season opener fast approaching, every decision, every roster move, every strategic gamble will come under the microscope. The margin for error is razor thin, and for teams like the Eagles, Cowboys, and Saints, the pressure is as intense as ever. Football isn't just a sport. It's a narrative, constantly evolving, shaped by the choices made today. And as fans, we're here for every twist and turn. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. He's saying, "This is our year," proclaimed Cowboys fans, only for reality to bring them crashing back down. In a stunning twist that caught fans and commentators alike off guard, former US President Donald Trump offered rare and unexpected praise for the Philadelphia Eagles, a team he has previously criticized. Speaking during a recent campaign rally, Trump veered off political talking points to acknowledge the Eagles' recent performance, lauding their discipline, teamwork, and tenacity on the field. The sudden compliment came as a surprise, especially considering Trump's tumultuous history with the NFL and its players. In 2018, the Eagles declined an invitation to the White House following their Super Bowl LI victory, prompting Trump to cancel the event altogether and criticize the team for what he called a lack of patriotism. His relationship with professional football since then has remained tense, often marked by sharp comments and political overtones. That's what made his latest remarks all the more startling. You look at the Eagles, and I have to say, they've been playing tremendous football. Trump said, they've got heart, they've got grit, and they're showing America what a winning attitude looks like. The unexpected endorsement drew cheers from some in the crowd and raised eyebrows across the sports world. Analysts are still debating the motivation behind Trump's sudden change of tone. Some suggest it might be a calculated move to appeal to Pennsylvania voters in the run-up to the 2024 presidential election. Others believe the former president may simply be acknowledging the undeniable talent and success the Eagles have demonstrated this season. Regardless of the reason, Trump's words sent shockwaves through both political and sports communities. Eagles fans, typically unaccustomed to praise from Trump, were divided in their reactions. Some appreciated the recognition, while others dismissed it as opportunistic. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video. Bring them crashing back down.